Hi there, I'm Scott Hamilton, ROCKFILE, and I'm back with another movie review. This is number 20. We're getting up there in the podcasts. A review of BLACKKKLANSMAN. I watched it on 4K Ultra High Definition Blu-ray disc. It's a Spike Lee film. He's a great director, a fantastic director, one of the true masters. But I don't always connect with all of his movies, and that I can say about a lot of my favorite directors. Spielberg has made some movies that I'm like, that was okay. You know, it's a great movie, it's put together well. Martin Scorsese is another one. Dude's made some really amazing movies. Half of his movies bore the crap out of me, and I'll be honest with you. I mean, I've seen thousands of movies in my life. I've been a movie fan all my life. I do gravitate towards certain directors because I've liked their movies in the past, but I can't think of too many directors who have knocked it out of the park every single time. Denis Villeneuve, I like everything he's made so far. He hasn't made that many, but every movie, Sicario, Prisoners, Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, Denis Villeneuve, okay, so far he can do no wrong, although Enemy was really weird. Had to watch it twice to fully get everything there, but really like his movies. So anyway, Spike Lee has made a lot of movies in his career. A lot of movies I really liked. Inside Man was his most mainstream and biggest hit. Denzel Washington was in that. If you haven't seen it, it's from 2006. It's a good mainstream movie. Funny that Denzel's son stars in this, but I'll get to that in a little bit. But anyway, long story short, BLACKKKLANSMAN was released in 2018. It got a lot of accolades. It finally hit home video in November of last year. It was a month or two ago. I saw it on sale for $12.99. And finding an ultra high definition 4K disc for $12.99 is pretty rare these days. So I picked it up because I'd always wanted to see it. And I knew eventually I could stream it for free or whatever. But I looked up the reviews, and it got really good reviews because it's a native 4K transfer. It was filmed in 4K. It was finished in 4K. So it looks really, really good, and I'll get to that. The movie is over 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was made for $15 million. It's made over $93 million. It was nominated for 6 Academy Awards, for Golden Globe Awards. It won a bunch of awards. I mean, this is a loved and beloved movie. It's also a powerful movie, and it's incredibly funny. In my history of watching movies, there's been those important movies you need to watch. This is important. It means something. That there's layers here, and there's depth, and it's saying something. And those movies are usually well-made movies, but not always the most entertaining movies. And on the flip side, most entertaining movies don't have a whole lot to say. This is a combination of both. This is a movie you're going to sit down and watch and go, it's really funny. It's also incredibly frightening and powerful. And that is incredibly rare for a movie these days. And that's what struck me the most about the film. How he juggled laugh out loud, hilarious funny as movies that I've seen this year that were strictly comedies. It has some very comic moments. But underneath it all, there is something it's trying to say. And it is based on a true story. Not everything in the movie is 100% accurate. Like, the actual events took place in 1979, and he moved it to the early 70s because it would have a little more import there. They never really named the partner who played the white guy. I'll get into the story in a second without spoilers. They never named the character that Adam Driver plays because, well, it could be bad for his life. And the whole what happens towards the end of the movie was actually an unrelated event. Still a KKK-related event, but wasn't related to this story. So if you don't know anything about BLACKKKLANSMAN, it's the true story of the first police detective in the Colorado police force who goes undercover with the Ku Klux Klan. And it sounds sillier than it actually is. He makes a call. They don't realize who he is, so he gets his partner to play him, but he still does all the phone calls. And he eventually talks to David Duke, who's played by Topher Grace in the movie. And what happens, like I said, a lot of comic moments. I mean, when they're on the phone with these guys and they don't know who they're talking to, and the guys in the audience are all, the guys in the office are all listening in, it's very funny. And there's some other scenes that are very funny, but a lot of the movie is not funny. It you see the side of white supremacists that we all hate to see, that there are actually people this narrow-minded out there and this unbelievably dumb as the movie kind of plays out. It's not a perfect movie. Early on, he's getting to know someone within the Black Power organization, and to me, it spent a little too much time there before it got to the real crux of the story. There's a scene where they're dancing in a club, and it tends to go on, and I'm like, okay, they're having fun, they're in a club, but, that kind of thing. But other than that, the movie has great pacing. I was never bored. It has quite the punch at the end. After the movie finishes, there's a few scenes on the end of reality that are very important. It also has a very interesting and funny beginning with a very famous person trying to do a controversial video or film back in the day. And he's having a hard time getting through it. But anyway, I couldn't recommend this film more. It's one of the best movies I've seen this year. As I said earlier, it was filmed in 4K. It was finished in 4K. It is a native 4K disc with HDR, and it looks great. The colors are subdued. This is not Guardians of the Galaxy or Doctor Strange. I mean, it's filmed to be real looking, but the textures on the clothes and the hair and the facial hair and the features and the colors that are supposed to pop do pop. It is a fine filmic looking movie. It really looks great. It's definitely worth picking up. Matter of fact, when I see this, it's usually cheaper to get it on 4K than Blu-ray. Don't know why that is, but go Universal for doing something like that. Movie was written by 4 people, including Spike Lee, from all different ethnic backgrounds, so that it's definitely not heavy-handed one way or the other. It was produced by Blumhouse Productions, who are known for small horror movies. It was also produced by Jordan Peele and his Monkey Paw Productions, also known for horror movies. And there's the horror might be some of the drama that happens with the white supremacists. But this is one of the more entertaining movies I've watched. Like I said, I wasn't expecting it to be... I knew it was funny. I wasn't expecting it to be laugh out loud as funny as something like Booksmart. I mean, I literally laughed out loud in many, many places in the film, and there were places where I put my hand over my mouth and I was shocked. So it's based on a true story. It is rated R, mostly for language. There's a few other things that happen in the movie, but, if you're going to show this to younger people, it's mostly rated R for language and some of the situations. It's not something that kids would always get the satire in or the gist of the layers beneath the scene. A lot of famous people in the movie. I got to give props to the star. It's Denzel Washington's kid, and John David Washington is amazing in the movie. Adam Driver does a great job. Topher Grace, really standout performances in the movie, deserve the accolades that they got. I'm glad this movie was nominated for as many awards as it was. I think based on the movies I saw last year, it should have won a few more of those movies. Spike Lee has made a movie. This is probably my favorite Spike Lee movie ever. I mean, like I said, he's made some really great movies in his career, but this is on a whole new level of master craftsmanship, that he was able to mix the different genres, the comedy and the horror and the frightening and I really enjoyed the movie. I can definitely see me watching it again down the road. The performances are amazing. The cinematography is amazing. I can't say enough good things. If you want to stream it, stream it. If you want to pick it up on 4K, highly recommend the disc. I will give this movie a 4.5 out of 5. If it didn't lose me a little bit towards the beginning, like I said, in the dance hall and the nightclub, that scene just played out way too long and didn't really have anything to say other than these two people were having fun. And a couple other things. Minor, like I said, this is almost a perfect film. Kudos to Spike Lee and everybody that was involved in the movie, the writers, the producers. I mean, they really achieved something that will stand the test of time, that is important for people to see, especially with the reality scenes that are tacked on the end of it. I can't recommend BLACKKKLANSMAN enough. Watch this movie when you get a chance. You will like it. I'm Scott Hamilton. ROCKFILE. My website is therockfile.com. That's where you can get links to my other goodies. I have more podcasts coming up. Please subscribe. If you have an iPhone, it came loaded with a podcast app. Just open that thing up and search for ROCKFILE, and there I am. It's hard to miss me. I'm the only one. and you could subscribe there. Subscribing is very important. It will download the new episodes and erase them 24 hours after you've listened to them, so it doesn't use up all your phone storage space there. But you can also find me on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube. These videos and audio podcasts go everywhere, and there's a lot more to come. So I appreciate your support, and thank you for listening.